What I'm going to do today, like what I mentioned, will be in two phases. The first phase will be talking more about the quick update. Reasons for this session, in most of the sessions that we normally spend about 10 to 15 minutes updating what's happening around the world and what's BCM Institute doing at the moment. Then we'll proceed on with the next phase, which is actually to talk about the implementation process itself. Just quick background, these are my two portfolio, and like I say, Joseph has been very kind. Actually, he has mentioned so much things that I'm supposed to say. I don't think I can finish them. Okay, he said, Dr. Goh will say this, Dr. Goh will say that. You will probably take about 5 days to finish what he just asked me to say, which is our course itself. Okay, so background is I'm the president of BCM Institute, and actually when I left GIC, my last job, my objective is actually to do consulting, which I still have a practice at the moment. The other thing is that we actually pioneered the TR19. We wrote the TR19 and it became SS540. And the standards is actually the effort of quite a big bunch of guys within the institute itself. Okay, these are my 3 prior appointments with Senchart, GIC, and PwC. All right, we started off in 2005. We are now the 3rd largest certification body. Good news is that after 4 years, we are now the 3rd largest. We have 1,005 certified professionals in 40 countries. All right, so the other 2 agencies, which are US and the UK, are about 26 and 29 years old. So we are still at very young age, but we are now ranked number 3 in the world. These are all certifications that we have in BCM Institute. We have IT disaster recovery with business continuity. Recently, we have BCM audit. Now, the challenge in the audit world is this. In Singapore, we have the SS540. When we move out of Singapore, we have the BS25999. And when we go to Australia, we have the ANZ 5050. In the US, now we have the NFPA 1600, which will have another standard called NC standard. All right, so I can give all the digits and everything that will confuse the hell of you, but just remember the world is full of standards now. We hope that there's a global standard coming on, in my opinion, in another 2 to 3 years. The world will unify itself with a common standard, but bear in mind we will not deviate too much from the current standard itself. So what I'm going to do, the first part of our presentation will be to talk about what's happening in 2011 for BCM Institute. Now, once again, I would like to thank all of you for attending our first session this year. We are going to do another, at least 3 to 4 more Meet the Expert, as the MC has mentioned early on. The objective of this session is to bring professionals together and have some specific topics that we have discussed, we would like to discuss, and to bring someone to speak about it. So this is what's happening in the Meet the Expert session. We also have a very big conference called the World Continuity Congress, which actually will be in March 29 this year. And the objective, again, is to bring the global audience to Singapore. Okay, the key in conferences has two advantages. One is for us to actually have to learn from what's happening in the world. For the senior practitioner is actually to meet up with the rest of the world. That's what we tend to do. At conferences, most of the time the senior guys will be drinking coffee outside with our old friends. All right, like example, I was in Orlando last year for DRJ conference. Out of 5 days, I only attended one sessions, the opening and the one of the keynote. Okay, but rest of it, I will spend all the time talking to friends of mine. So quick update, today is the session, our first Meet the Expert. For those who have regional operations, just be mindful that we have Meet the Expert around the region now. In fact, next month we will have it in Malaysia, and also the following month will be in Bangkok. In fact, next month will be in Kuala Lumpur and in Bangkok. We will have it in the Philippines and Jakarta, probably in April, May. All right, so for those who have Middle Eastern operation, talk to me separately. We will have similar operations. Most important thing is 29 March. We will have our WCC, and like I say, those who are keen on getting this, just go to a table at the corner there and sign up today, and then you'll get it. The next session that we will meet each other will be on 13th of May. The topic to be confirmed. Anyone of you felt that there's some topics that you would like to talk about, there's actually an evaluation form. Please put down the comments and then we can talk about it in the session. So the idea is to discuss topics that's of interest to the general public within the country itself, and that is our objective. So WCC, World Accounting Congress, this year we've decided to go upmarket. So when I say upmarket, means I was talking to someone yesterday. Say what place is that MBS? Because he's not from Singapore. I say okay. When I say Marina Bay Sands, he say the only thing I remember was casino. All right. So anyway, March 29 will be at the MBS, and there's an early bird for $399 till end of this month. If one this pack, get it by the end of today. This will be a conference program. It's on the website. I'm not going to go through it. The key is this: we have four main categories. One is to manage the disaster, more from a BCM point of view. And this year we are bringing the regional FSI, the financial services industry, to Singapore. Reason is because this will be the hub for FSI training for people outside Singapore. Singapore has, the financial institution has been trained very extensively over the last 10 years, to be fair. But at the regional level, there is a tremendous demand, and hence this is the time that we are going to bring the FSI from the region in here. I give example, last couple of months we have people from Cambodia and a lot of other places coming for training. Even for up as far as Dubai, Oman, coming to us. So there is actually a requirement to train only FSI, which means specifically to financial services. The other part that we have is that we also have case study. One of the things that we should learn from is the recent, not recent, the civil unrest in Thailand, and also the volcano eruption in Merapi, which there will be one speaker. The last one will be the typhoon that happens in the Philippines. So there is actually a couple of speakers, and of course someone from United Nations will talk about the multi-sectorial pandemic flu. This gentleman from UN actually is highlighting a very scary scenario. He says that we are actually not safe, but he says we should not scare the world. Because H1N1 became a non-event actually. But there was a H5N1 outbreak. However, for consistency reasons, in terms of global attention, they have to focus on the H1N1. But the challenge now is that the rest of the diseases, the various numbers will be coming up. And being UN park in this region, there's a need to emphasize to get the utilities, the authorities involved in this exercise. So the last part will be talking about IT. IT, the more important thing is how to integrate IT, DR into BCM, or the vice versa, and of course how to test. And cloud DR is going to be the biggest thing in town now. All right, whether it's safe or not, let's talk. Let the speaker speak about the topic itself. In terms of courses, we will have courses. Just for info, CTRAP, for those who are not aware, CTRAP is actually IDA funded. It's actually enhanced during the recession to 80%, means every dollar you spend, you will take back 80 cents. All right, so the good news is that it's still on. The bad news is that we have 90 days left, or rather at least 80 days left for this funding. So anyone who wants the funding urgently, you have to consume it within the next 80 days. So we have the IT DRP on February and March, and the lead auditor, that will be the last CTRAP funded course for this year at 80%, and of course the BCM 5000 for financial services. All right, the other good news is that there's a lot of internal courses, BCM 5000 and DRP 5000 courses being run at the moment based on in-house by various agencies. So this is what we have on the public level. For those who are keen, the course details are actually in the flyer that's attached together with these forms. Other courses, we will slowly embark into crisis management. One of the challenges we are finding in this region, as I travel around this region, is a lot of senior practitioners asking me, say, Dr. Goh, we have a problem. I'm very good at BCM now. I've done this, I've done that. My bosses are asking me to go into crisis management. I hope you guys do not have this problem, because most of the people are now being pushed into crisis management. Although you're a business continuity person, as far as they're concerned, you will assume this additional role. So this is something which I don't think you'll get away from it. As a BCP person, it's very logical that you will be involved. And we will have another one-day course, and all these are actually on the program itself. Other updates will be, we now have, most of you who are new to us, just for info, we have a dictionary that's available online. Okay, so called bcmpedia.org. We have now included crisis communication as an additional dictionary to the system. So what we are trying to do is to put as much dictionary as possible into a public domain for consistent, for teaching consistency. That's for as far as the institute is concerned. A lot of organizations are now using this as a basis. How many of you are holding an Apple iPhone? Anyone? Raise your hand. Okay, good. 1/3 of you. My advice to you is that you just have to put BCM after this. BCMI Private Limited. You will have a iPhone version of whatever we are discussing here. So just go to iApps and just type BCMI, and that's it. You should be able to pick us up, download that, and you have a light version of the dictionary and all the WCCs and so on and so forth. Forums, most of you after this session will be invited to a forum. We now have 3,000 over people, and they are only by invitation. Most of you are practitioners in order to join this forum. So 80% are Asians, and it's very active. It's modulated by itself. Over the next 2-3 months, we have now increased our capability by creating chapters. So there is a Singapore chapter, Malaysian chapter, Philippine chapter, and so on and so forth. We will go up to about 15 or 16 chapters. And we also will go into specialized chapter like disaster recovery and probably SS540, BS2500, something of this nature, because the demand for discussion specific to this area is getting very high. So once I get, as a moderator, once I see this as a requirement, we see the need to actually enhance the portal to support the demand of the readers. So for most of you, use this portal more as a basis of discussion. Every time you have a problem, throw the question into the portal, someone will answer. And within 72 hours, if it's not answered, you will get a call, you will get an answer from me actually. All right, so this allows anyone to at least have an answer. I think some of you are already using this. And it's working, because I normally do not answer most of the questions nowadays. So the portal is a very powerful concept, because if you have any question, you just have to post it and you get answer immediately. And it's quite neutral, because these guys are not interested in selling you anything, but just want to share some information with you. So that's what the forum is all about. And like I say, the Singapore chapter is now set up. Other things, anyone wants to Facebook, YouTube, group site, Twitter, LinkedIn, and these are all additional information that's provided. All right, so that's a quick update of the activity for BCM Institute. And come WCC, we will do, normally as a keynote speaker, we will actually do a presentation on the trends that's happening in 2011.